Yes. Good morning, Mohit. Welcome, everyone. And we are live now. Winter has come. सर्दियां आ गई हैं. बहुत सर्दी बढ़ भी रही है दिन पर दिन. Especially if you are living in the northern part of the country. More specifically, Delhi, Haryana, Punjab, Uttarakhand, HP. Winter is really started. तो आप भी थोड़ा बच के रहना सर्दी से. या हेलो संजना. वेरी गुड very good morning to all of you. I think now we should start the session. Yeah, good morning, Jyoti. Hello, Suhail, and all. Very welcome. So, welcome everyone, and very good morning. So, let us start with the first topic of the day: hydroelectric dams in Himalayas. So, before understanding this, first we discuss what is Himalayas. It is basically the fold mountains. Fold mountains. See, mountain formation is very simple funda. Very simple funda. When pressure is applied from bottom, the earth goes up, the mountain get formed. Or this earth get pressure from above, that it gets subside, then this mountain get formed. So this kind of mountain is formed when pressure from horizontal sides are applied. From leftward and rightward pressure is applied. जैसे आपने घर में देखा होगा, एक सर्दियों में या गर्मियों में जब भी कोई चादर चादर या कंबल लेते हो, उसको दोनों तरफ से आप प्रेशर करोगे तो वो बीच बीच में से इस तरीके से ऊपर की तरफ मोल्ड हो जाती है. तो वैसे ही ये फोल्ड माउंटेन बनते हैं. डेट इज बाय फोल्ड, कि आप दो साइड से उसको फोल्ड कर रहे हो तो ये ऊपर की तरफ निकल आते हैं. अर्थ को यहां से, ये अर्थ है, दोनों तरफ से प्रेशर पड़ा और वो ऊपर की तरफ इस तरीके से फोल्ड हो गई. दैट इज बेसिकली दी फोल्ड माउंटेन्स. और जब वर्टिकल प्रेशर पड़ता है, व्हेन देयर इज वर्टिकल प्रेशर either from upwards or from downwards, then this block mountain get formed. Block mountain. So those who have read the static part, those who have read the NCRT, give me the example of block mountains in live chat. In live chat, give me the example of block mountains. So basically Himalayas are the fold mountains. Pressure is being put from this side and also from this side. That is why in the middle Himalayas get risen up. It take the shape of fold mountains. So you can see the area of fold mountains. This is the area, and you can also include this area also. This area also. This also comes under Himalayas. So you can see the detail. Hindu Kush, Suleiman, Karakoram, and Mahabharat. Like, I think you are all reading in your NCRTs. I think all are mentioned in NCRT. I do not need to explain it, but for reference purpose, you can study this map of Himalayas. So it is the chief driver of Asian climate, no doubt. We got monsoon rainfall because of Himalayas, because it blocks the incoming southwest monsoon rays to cross the Indian subcontinent. It never allows this monsoon winds to cross the Indian subcontinent and to reach China, etc. It just acts as a barrier. Then it also acts as a barrier to cold waves that comes from the Mediterranean Sea during winters. It also blocked that waves also, and Because of this those blockage, these cold waves release the rainwater in winters on Indian subcontinent. So there is no doubt about that Himalaya is the chief driver of Asian climate. Then it is also origin of numerous Asian river water system, whether it is Indus or Ganges or Brahmaputra river system, all originated from Himalayas. But now it is facing multiple threats. Facing multiple threats. First is deforestation. Second, global warming. Because of global warming, ice sheets or glaciers of Himalayas are melting. Then, because of development purpose, land is being diverted for agriculture, for industry, for hydroelectric dams, etc. That is why also Himalayas natural ecosystem is continuously being altered. So it is becoming more and more prone to multiple disasters. Multiple disasters. And not only this danger to Himalaya because of development, there is also security threat to Himalaya. Security threat how? Because India and China, see this map. China on this side, India on this side, Pakistan on this side. All three are nuclear power nation. Nuclear power nation. So in future, any war break out between India, Pakistan or China, then ultimate casualty would be Himalayas. बेचारा हिमालयस पिस जाएंगे अगर न्यूक्लियर वॉर हो गया तो हिमालयस मे गेट डिस्ट्रॉयड because of possible nuclear war between China, India, and Pakistan. Forget nuclear bomb, maybe heavy bombing if it carried out during the war, Himalayas would be the casualties. And also to prevent this military confrontation or to prepare for these kind of military confrontations, both countries are developing all weather roads, dams, bridges, tunnels, etc. So that is also affecting the ecosystem of Himalayas. That is why it is also have impact on biodiversity living on Himalayas region and also the livelihood of the tribal people or the indigenous people, native people living in Himalayas. So in this discussion, we would focus on the hydroelectric dams on Himalayas because in the last 20 years, both India and China wants to outpace to each other to build hydroelectric dams. Both want to build as many as dam as possible in Himalayas. We Indians are also giving funding to our states like Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Jammu and Kashmir, Arunachal, etc. to build dams on Himalayas. Also we are giving funding to Nepal, Bhutan, etc. to build dams on Himalayas, Himalayan rivers. So what are the Chinese proposals? It has planned to build a very big hydropower project on Yarlung Janbo river in Madok region of Tibet, so that 3 billion kilowatt hours of electricity could be produced annually. What? Why? First, apparent legitimate goal, apparent legitimate objective that it wants to peak its carbon emission by before 2030 and achieve carbon neutrality before 2060. Remember this, hydro projects comes under renewable energy. So China is saying my carbon dioxide emission would reduce because I would lesser require than the power from coal powered thermal plants. Coal powered thermal plants, from it I did lesser electricity, that is why my CO2 emissions would decrease. So it is a noble cause of mine. But it is also have strategic aspect also, because by building this dam, China is asserting its control over the region. Then the claim of Tibetans for separate nation got eroded by this. Third, it would able to control certain river systems which also pass through India, Bangladesh, etc. So the lower riparian states of India, Bangladesh would get dependent on China for the river water release or sharing of water data, etc. that we have discussed in the previous class. So that is why there is also strategic reasons. And also this Meadow County is not far from Arunachal Pradesh. You can see in the map. See this. See this. This is Meadow County and this is Arunachal Pradesh. Very close to Arunachal Pradesh. Very close to Arunachal Pradesh. So there are little speculations that China is going to build this dam. Then India make a quick response that we are also going to build Himalayas on our side of the border. So China is saying that Arunachal is the part of southern Tibet. That is, it is part of China. So India is saying if you are building dams on the disputed territory of Arunachal Pradesh in a nearby Tibet region, then I am also going to build the dams on Arunachal Pradesh. Tit for tat policy basically India has adopted. कि अगर तुम disputed territory के पास डैम बनाओगे तो we would also build the dams on the disputed territory. So what are these projects in Arunachal Pradesh on tributaries of Brahmaputra? Multiple projects are being proposed. For example, 600 megawatt Kameng project on Baikom and Tenga rivers. You can see the dam picture, and also you can see this Baikom and Tenga river basically in this magnifying map of region, or you can have better view at this like. Uh, These are the various regions of this region. This is Dibang Valley, Upper Siang, Tuting, Upper Subansari, East Kameng, Bameng, Desali. This is basically the dissection Tawang area. This is basically dissection of Arunachal Pradesh area. So Subansari Lower Hydroelectricity Project 2000 megawatt is going to be built by India. So you can see this at this area. This area we are going to build it. Very near to border. Very near to border. You can see the picture also. This is the picture of the dam. And you can have a greater look at this riverine map. This is the Brahmaputra river and this is the tributary of the Brahmaputra, that is Subansari, and at this region we are building a dam. Or you want to see more clarity, you can see this Brahmaputra river system here. It is known by the name of Meghna when it enters the Bangladesh. So this is from where Tista is going, Subansiri, Barak is from Manipur, Surma, then Yarlong Zangpo coming from this. It takes a very bend here and all. Then you can see Arunachal government has awarded 130 projects over 8 rivers in the state. You can see on Lohit, on Dibang, on Siang, Subansiri, Taiwan, Kameng, Tirap, Dikorong, so many projects. This black dotted projects, you can see how India is going to dam almost every part of the river. We are building dam on the every part of the river. See this, so many dots are there. So China has already completed 11 out of the 55 projects it has proposed, planned for the Tibetan region. So now what is the problem in this projects? What is the problem? It is going to benefit humanity in terms of increase in renewable energy production. So what is the problem? First, these areas are geographically unstable. Massive earthquakes are there is high possibility of massive earthquakes may happen in this region. So you can see by this data that 15% of the earthquakes that occurs in 20th century, which have the magnitude of more than 8, which is highly destructive, devastating, has occurred in Himalayas region. And Himalayas regions do come on the red area for earthquakes. It is highly earthquake prone area of the world. And you would feel that Northeast Himalayas has experienced several earthquake of magnitude greater than 7. So you can take these examples 1950 where magnitude of 8.6 such kind of largest earthquake has suffered in Northeast Himalayas. You can see the picture. And it caused not only killings, property damage, etc., but also caused land level changes. You can see this in picture, how land get changed. Then it also caused huge fissures जैसे होते हैं खड्डे type. This is suppose this is the normal land. Okay, this is the normal land. It caused deep trenches in between the land. So these two land are not able to connect with themselves. They would not able to connect these two lands. These got separated by the deep trenches, deep burrows, deep trenches, burrows, etc. because of these fissures. And then water and mud also start oozing. Then it also dammed the river. This earthquake dammed the rivers. What happens? Suppose this is the river which is flowing. This is the river flowing. Earthquake would come. Then mud, water, debris, rock, etc., silt, etc., would come over this river. So it would block the flow of the water. It would block the flow of the water. That is basically the damming of river is. So when the pressure from the water comes, when the pressure from the water comes over a period of time, then this dam get breached. Then this dam get breached or get destroyed by the high pressure of water. Then this water get released suddenly. Suddenly this water get released like this manner, and this flash flood. Flash flood means palak jhapkate hi pani aa gaya. In very excessively short time, the water start get flowing in the lower riparian area, and the whole villages, cities get flooded with water. And also it also silt the drainage system. Silt, what does it mean? Suppose this debris, rocks, mud, etc., comes in this river. So this is the river. Suppose this is the river base. Okay, from this water, this is the depth of the river. This is the depth of the river. This is the depth of the river. This silt, etc., comes in because of earthquake, because of the landslides, mud and water oozing, etc. This is the depth of the river. So this mud start accumulating at this level. At this level, it start accumulating at this level, at the base of the, basically at the base of the river bed. At the base of the river bed, it start getting accumulated. So now the depth of the river get reduced. Now the depth of the river get reduced. So now river would overflow more frequently and with greater intensity. So more possibility of flooding. This happens in Nepal earthquake of 2015. In Nepal earthquake, it has been found that 30 projects, hydro projects, 30 projects which were located on steep river valley were get damaged, and Nepal lost 20% of its hydropower capacity. So many projects proposed by Arunachal Pradesh government may get destruct, may get destroyed just by a single earthquake, and we would lose all the money we have invested in these kind of earthquake projects. Then landslides and glacial lake outburst floods are also common in this region. How? You can see in this slide how this landslides comes and destroy the region. And this is the glacial lakes outburst. How? See, this is the glacier. It get melted and start accumulating here. Start accumulating here. Now a lake has been formed here. Lake has been formed here, but it is been dammed by these moraines of glacial silt, debris, etc. So this has been dammed by the silt of glacial region. Okay. So now this debris, rocks, etc. is not letting this water to come out from this lake. So it has been retained in this, water has been retained or concentrated in this lake only. But when the pressure get highs, when the water get highly accumulated, then it would exert pressure on this moraines, and this moraines would not able to resist or bear the pressure of these lake water. Then it would get break down, and this water would suddenly comes out. एकदम से पानी आएगा, and then only flash blood would come in. This happens in 2015 Jammu and Kashmir floods. Jammu and Kashmir floods. This happened. You can take the geographical diagram also. You can study it. So these are the moraines, glacial moraines. If it got breached, it got breakdown, then water would come suddenly, and we would not able to tackle this water. Then these landslides which we have talked about, this may cause heavy siltation in the dam. In the dam. Siltation concept I have already explained. So if suppose this is the dam you have built where you have accumulated the water, then siltation comes, so its depth would reduce. So you cannot store the water in greater amount. In greater amount, you would not able to produce the electricity and all because of it. And it also reduce the life expectancy of dams. The dams may get destroyed in lesser period of time. So this is the diagrammatical view of siltation of dams. So one solution may be that you can use JCB and remove the silt from the base of the dam. From the base of the dam, silt could be removed. But that is not economically viable proposition because huge cost would be involved. Then technological challenging also because huge water is being stored in this dam. So that would be very difficult task. So even dam building initiative can further promote the earthquake. For example, this Koina earthquake in Maharashtra, I think 2 decades back has occurred because of dam building exercise. Because of dam building exercise, this Koina earthquake in Maharashtra was occurred. So what this imply that northeast region is not suitable for these kind of big dams. So it can be proved counterproductive for both India and China or humanity at large, which is living in this region. So what should be done? Carbon neutrality cannot come at the expense of environment. We cannot destroy the ecosystem altogether in order to save certain tons of CO2 emissions. Then what we need to do, international agreement should be there so that upper Himalayas could be converted into nature reserve. Basically, a biosphere reserve, etc., should be declared for Himalayas so that no kind of such activities could be done here. Just like we have declared Western Ghat as eco-sensitive area. Similarly, Himalayas should also be declared as eco-sensitive areas where no development activity would be allowed. Then India and China should be advised not to do any military adventurism. Do not bring this region into hot boil. कि जो अंदर की गर्मी है उसको कंट्रोल में रखो कि दोनों एक दूसरे को उकसाओ इंस्टिगेट both countries should not instigate each other so that this region does not turn into a hotspot of war. So this is the first prelims question of the day. Kindly answer it. Yes, robust chances of bounteous flood. Yes, these glacial moraines are certainly a depositional landforms. Not Aravali. Aravali is not the block mountains. Let me give you clue. The mountains through which Narmada river flows, Tapi river flows. Narmada and Tapi river flows are block mountain. You have to find it. You have to find it. Yes, answer is A. Answer is A. So let us move to the second topic. India Uzbekistan Virtual Summit. So this topic is little bit factual. Okay. So I would give you broad overview and conceptual understanding behind this topic. Rest you have to read it yourself. Okay. So pen is not working. So first see the location of Uzbekistan. At this Aral Sea is bordered by Uzbekistan. Aral Sea is bordered by two nations, Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan. You can remember this by an acronym or mnemonics, that is KAJU. KAJU. Kazakhstan KAJ, Uzbekistan U, KAJU. If you remember this, you would not forget that Aral Sea is Aral Sea is boundaried with which nations? So it is Kaju. So it borders Afghanistan, Uzbekistan borders Afghanistan, and it is quite important to reach Russia and also to reach Europe also. And that is why Uzbekistan relevance is quite huge. You can see this Uzbekistan in Central Asia map. Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan at its south, Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan, and this is the Caspian Sea. Okay. Yes, Vindhya and Satpura range. So both countries have held virtual summit where they have discussed their bilateral ties in renewable energy, digital technology, cyber security, connectivity in Afghanistan, terrorism, etc., which we are going to discuss in detail. So in trade, economic and investment cooperation, bilateral trade is $28 million. Target is $1 billion. So that for that, provincial trade agreement would be signed, and bilateral investment treaty would also be concluded as soon as possible so that foreign direct investment could be promoted between both the countries. So they are also establishing free economic zones, that is basically the SEZ, special economic zones, where foreign companies are allowed to invest in without much regulatory hassles, where they are provided easy land, tax concessions, labor relaxation, RBI, SEBI, etc., easy regulation, etc., so that they can freely trade, freely manufacture in that host country. So that those free economic zones are being established so that companies from Uzbekistan can invest in India and Indian companies can invest in Uzbekistan. The example is such special economic zone being created in Fargana Valley in Far East Uzbekistan. You can see this Fargana Valley in Far East Uzbekistan. Just like we want investment in Northeast from ASEAN countries, similarly Uzbekistan wants investment from India in its Far East area because it is underdeveloped. उससे नहीं होता, चलो दूसरों की हेल्प ले लेके उसको डेवलप करवाते हैं. Then we are also inviting Uzbeki companies to invest in Make in India program. So development cooperation, India has given $448 million of line of credit, and we are building projects in road construction, sewage treatment, information technology. You see these projects. These projects are development projects. These are not the predatory projects of China. China do invest in multiple countries, but it is meant for the Chinese interest, which is going to promote only Chinese interest. But when India invests in other countries, it promotes the host country interest. So it is non-predatory. It is not going to eat away the host country. It is not going to make them into debt trap. It is going to benefit the people of this country. That is why India has huge goodwill, huge brand value in these countries, because India has certainly give tangible benefits to the people of these countries. That is why they look India with great admiration and all. But they are fearful, suspicious of Chinese investment because China has invested only for its own interest. Then defense and security. So joint working group has been established. We have welcomed that Dastalik kind of military exercise should be done. You can see this picture how Dastalik 2019 was held between air forces of these two countries. You can see this. So what is the purpose of this joint exercise? देखो, एक रूल है पॉलिटिक्स का, दुश्मन का दुश्मन दोस्त होता है, enemies is your friend. So suppose tomorrow India Pakistan war comes in, so who, or India China war comes in, or Uzbekistan China war comes in, or Afghanistan Uzbekistan war comes in, or Pakistan Uzbekistan war comes in. That may be the possible scenarios, war scenarios in future, because you cannot say no to any event in future. Anything can happen. So in that scenario, if both countries knows how to cooperate with themselves, how their military can cooperate, coordinate among themselves, then it would be easy to defeat the enemy, common enemy. Suppose India China war comes in, then it may give military support to India. Or India-Pakistan support comes in, it can attack Pakistan from eastern side, we would attack Pakistan from western side, and Pakistan would get sandwiched because of dual attack. And it would not able to sustain this attack, it would give easy surrender. Similar help we can give to Uzbekistan. That is why these kind of joint exercises are done. So we want to further promote it, and civil nuclear energy. We want agreement of in civil nuclear energy because see, this Central Asian region is rich in uranium, basically raw material. India is the market, India is the consumer, basically they are the producers. So they will sell their uranium to India because India is a consumer, a big consumer. Why? Because Indian economy is booming. So we need huge electricity for our factories, for our vehicles, for our metros, for our railways, etc. So that is why we need this uranium. So that is why there is win-win relationship between two countries. Win-win relationship means where both parties benefit. When both parties benefit, it is known as win-win relationship, or in environmental terms you can say that symbiotic relationship, mutually beneficial relationship. So India is building global center for nuclear energy partnership where Uzbekistan would also contribute. So basically it's a research and development unit under the Department of Energy to help in capacity building of nuclear plants. Interested countries and international organizations can also participate in it. So coming to the connectivity, that is very important. Why? See this map. This is Uzbekistan. We can easily reach if we go through Pakistan. That would be very shortest distance to reach Central Asia and then also to the Russia. तो ये पाकिस्तान को बात पता है, ये पाकिस्तान को पता है. पाकिस्तान कह रहा है कि जाने नहीं दूंगा तेरे को, मैं यहीं रोकूंगा मैं. I would not let you to develop relationship with Central Asian countries and Russia and also Eastern Europe. So that is why Pakistan obstruct any move made by India to connect with Central Asia. That is why we are forging a alternative. हम कह रहे हैं कि पाकिस्तान हमें तेरी जरूरत ही नहीं है, वी वुड मूव थ्रू ईरान. जैसे ब्रिटिशर्स आए थे यहाँ से from this to India when in Turkey this route was blocked. This route was blocked to reach India or Asian countries. Britishers used this long route to reach India, basically first by the Vasco da Gama. Similarly, India is saying if we are being blocked the shortest route, we would take the longest route, that is from Iran, Chabar Post, and we would reach the Central Asia and Europe through it. So that is why this international north-south corridor, yes, via Cape of Good Hope. That is why this international north-south transport corridor is important. It would have two routes from Persian Gulf and also from Red Sea. This is how we are going to reach Europe and Central Asia. Then cultural education and people-to-people ties. We are giving scholarship to Uzbekistan students so that they can study in India. We also doing their training and capacity building of educational institutions so that they can impart quality education to their students. Terrorism, we are condemning terrorism in all forms. We also want to destroy terrorist says heavens infrastructure network funding channel, basically a reference to Pakistan. So both Uzbekistan and India is on same page regarding Pakistan's support to terrorist organizations. So, and we also both countries supports the Comprehensive Convention on International Terrorism. Basically, India is pitching for this agreement. India is the leading party for lobbying for this kind of agreement to be signed by UN. Because through this agreement, we want that there should be global action against the menace of terrorism. We know that we cannot control Pakistan irresponsible behavior or policy of state-sponsored terrorism alone. It is not possible. हम पाकिस्तान के गले में पट्टा अकेले नहीं बांध सकते। जो वो कुत्ती हरकतें कर रहा है, सॉरी टू यूज दैट स्ट्रॉन्ग लैंग्वेज, बट जो वो ऐसी हरकतें कर रहा है, वो हम अकेले उसके गले में पट्टा नहीं बांध सकते। इसीलिए हमें पता है कि पूरे विश्व को साथ लेना पड़ेगा, तभी इस पे बांध पाएंगे, बिकॉज पाकिस्तान इज एन ग्लोबल माइग्रेन, ग्लोबल माइग्रेन, global headache. So that is why global action is required to control the Pakistan. That is why we pitch for this kind of agreement to be signed under the UN aegis. On the UN platform, this kind of agreement should be signed. And on Afghanistan, we are also on the same page that we want that Afghan-led, Afghan-owned and Afghan-controlled peace process should be there. So Uzbekistan and India both want that democratic government of Afghanistan should have greater sway, greater influence, greater say in the peace process and in the determination of political, social, economic affairs of the country. So that is why we want united. Basically, Afghanistan should not be divided just like India and Pakistan was divided in 1947 when Britishers leave the subcontinent. Similarly, when American leaves the Afghanistan, it should not be divided that part of the Afghanistan is ruled by Ashraf Ghani government, part of the Afghanistan is ruled by Taliban, part of the Afghanistan is ruled by ISI, part of the Taliban is ruled by Al Qaeda, etc. We want that it should be sovereign, that its policy is not decided by Pakistan or China, as the case may be. It should be democratic and it should be republic, and it should be also secular. Here, Islamic should not be there. Secular Republic of Afghanistan, because Taliban wants dictatorship, authoritarian dictatorship, and Islamist rule in Afghanistan based on Shariat. Just like ISS has ruled parts of Syria and Iraq, on the similar pattern, Taliban wants to rule the Afghanistan. So both country has given place to UN reforms, and also Uzbekistan has supported India's for UNSC Council. Then also Uzbekistan uh, give has shown gratefulness for India's support in during COVID-19, where India has provided vaccines not vaccines, medicines, etc., PP kits and all to Uzbekistan. So it shows that India is not only the friend of good time but also of bad time. So during the crisis, India would not evade its responsibility to help its neighbors, maybe immediate neighbors like Bhutan, Bangladesh, but also the extended neighbors like ASEAN, Central Asians, Middle East countries, even African countries and all. So that is why, so this political understanding should be further promoted in multiple sectors so that their relationship could get further strengthened. So now let me tell you a little bit about the challenges between India and Uzbekistan. First challenge is connectivity, because Pakistan is obstructing direct connectivity and Chabar project is still not built. Second is low level of trade as comparison to China. We have just 285 million dollar. China has in billion-dollar trade with Uzbekistan. Third, again China factor, China's strategic factor, China's calculus in the region. How Uzbekistan is going to balance the different powers in the region. On the top there is Russia, on the east there is China, and on the south there is India. All have its stakes in Central Asia. Russia suppose or assume that this Central Asia region is its strategic backyard. उसका घर का पीछे का हिस्सा है ये strategic backyard. तो ये हिस्सा मेरा है, इसमें जो भी डिसाइड होगा मैं डिसाइड करूंगा. China also sees that this is part of its western borders, so that is why it would have its say in Central Asian affairs. India thinks that to counter Pakistan and to ensure stability in Afghanistan and to have linkage with Russia, so to counterbalance the Chinese rise, India has also its stakes in Uzbekistan. So to balance all these powers, ambitions, it is very challenging for countries like Uzbekistan and other Central Asian republics like Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Turkmenistan, etc. Now coming to the planet 9. So before discussing what is this planet 9, let me tell you who which is the body which decide what is the which celestial body would include it under the category of planet. This is the International Astronomical Union. It decides the criteria, it provides the conditions to be met by the celestial body in order to be classified as planet, and also vote on the decision. Vote on the decision. So it has laid out three criteria for any celestial body to be declared as planet. First, it must orbit the sun. It should have huge mass, that to get a spherical shape. So any body which is in this shape of sphere, rectangle, etc. would not come under the category of planet. Then it has to clear its orbit. What does it mean? See, this is sun. Suppose this is the orbit of Earth. Earth is revolving around the sun in this path. In this path, it is revolving around the sun. So in this path, in this journey, Earth should be the sole power. अगर किसी को प्लेनेट बनना है तो ये प्लेनेट जो सन के चारों ओर घूम रहा है, इस रास्ते पे इसका राज होना चाहिए, इसका राज होना चाहिए, ये इस पाथ का राजा होना चाहिए. कहने का मतलब ये है कि देयर शुड नॉट बी एनी अदर ऑब्जेक्ट विच इज रिवॉल्विंग अराउंड द सन इन दिस पाथ. दूसरे ऑब्जेक्ट को अगर सन के अराउंड रिवॉल्व करना है तो दूसरा रास्ता चुने. इस रास्ते पे वो नहीं आ सकते. इस रास्ते पे सिर्फ अर्थ घूमेगी, यहाँ पे उसकी मोनोपोली है. और जो बाकी ऑब्जेक्ट है अगर इस पाथ में है तो वो अर्थ के चारों तरफ घूमेंगे, वो अर्थ के चारों तरफ घूमेंगे, ना कि सन के. दैट इज बेसिकली द क्राइटेरिया ऑफ डिसाइडिंग द celestial body as planet. I am repeating in English for the northeast and southern people. In this path, only the Earth or the planet claimant body should be the single body which is revolving around the sun in this path. If any other body wants to revolve around the sun, it has to choose another path. And if there is any other celestial body being there in this path, then it has to revolve around the earth, not the sun. If it happens, then it would get the status of planet. If it is satisfy any two of these conditions, it would be known as dwarf planet. See this example series. It is quite spherical in shape. It is quite massive in size, but still it is a dwarf planet. Or you can take the example of Xena, which is in Kuiper belt. You can take the example of Xena. It is also bigger than Pluto, but still it is a dwarf planet. And these are other examples of dwarf planets. So dwarf planet definition is again repeated. You can read it yourself. I think do not need to repeat it. Kuiper belt. What is this Kuiper belt? You can see this. Between Pluto and Neptune, there is this Kuiper belt. You can see in this picture. Yes, Chinese BRI project. You are referring in the context of Uzbekistan relation. This is basically an icy ring of frozen objects in the form of circumstellar disk. It is present in outer solar system from the orbit of Neptune. See, Neptune is basically the last planet in solar system. So you can say this Kuiper belt, if it is located after Neptune, so it is basically outer solar system. So what is exoplanet? Planets which are outside the solar system is known as exoplanet. The first confirmation of exoplanet was there in 1992. That in 1992 humanity gets to know that there are planets which are revolving around sun but not our sun. मतलब कि हमारे सन के खिलाफ अराउंड रिवॉल्व नहीं कर रहे, किसी और सन 2 के अराउंड रिवॉल्व कर रहे हैं. There is another solar system in the universe also. So there are over 1000 confirmed exoplanets so far, and you can see the example of this. There are multiple Earth-like bodies may be present in universe. So what is out cloud? It is basically objects which surrounds the entire solar system, but they are far behind the Kuiper belt. You can see this example. If this is sun, and so many objects are revolving around the sun, that is basically the out cloud. So now, what is this planet 9? It is basically a hypothetical planet in the outer region of solar system. It was first proposed in 2012 to explain the possibility that there are certain dwarf planets which are beyond the Neptune orbit, and it is 10 times the size of Earth. It is hypothetical, it is imaginary, it is still in the theory. Its evidence has not been found yet, but certain speculations, certain predictions are being made that these kind of planets do exist in the universe. You can see this very Earth-like shape, blue colored, and it is highly, its orbit is a highly eccentric. You can see in this picture how eccentric it is, and this is planet 9 is. So now why this has been in news? Because a strange exoplanet. I've told you this planet 9 is in theory. There is scientific speculations that this planet exists, but there is no evidence yet. So scientists have found a strange exoplanet named HD 106906, which is orbiting a double star, which is 33.6 light away, and it gives a little bit cues about this planet 9. So now this is the prelims question for you. Second prelims question of the day. Answer it. Yes, answer is B. All of you are right. Answer is B. B is the answer. So now coming to the next important news, PM Vani. PM Vani. It is not the आकाशवाणी. ये ना तो आकाशवाणी है और ना ही पीएम मोदी की मन की वाणी है. ये कुछ हो रही है, देखते हैं ये क्या है. So this PM Vani has the potential to revolutionize the way India access the internet. Let us see how. Let us see how. You can see this picture. Something related to internet. So you can see this picture. Imagine this picture. We will discuss it in detail. So basically, it wants to develop large-scale Wi-Fi hotspot in the country. See what happens. What happens? At your home, you have the Wi-Fi connection. You are paying suppose 600 rupees for your Wi-Fi connection. But moment you stepped out of the house, you have not fast internet with you. You are depending on the slow internet of Jio or Airtel as the case may be. So these kind of mobile internet is not as fast as your Wi-Fi connection in your house. So in order to provide this fast Wi-Fi access when you come out of your house, this program investigates every shop of this country would be converted into public data office. You may be the millennials. Maximum number of the students in this class is millennials, those who were born after 2000. You may not have seen this PCO. there was a this kind of offices in the shops, in the small kirana shops, in the cloth shops, etc., where a public telephone is being given, where per minute charge is taken from the consumer or who dials on that telephone, and this kirana owner or PCO owner gets the profit out of it. कि मान लो normal charge 2 rupees है, from this PCO you would be charged suppose 4 rupees, and this 2 rupees commission would go to the PCO officer. आपने वो सूर्यवंशम मूवी देखी होगी, दिस सूर्यवंशम मूवी ऑफ अमिताभ बच्चन, दिस अनुपम खेर character runs this PCO shop. So yes, PCO STD basically. So similar thing we want to replicate with respect to Wi-Fi. Similar thing this scheme wants to replicate for Wi-Fi. Earlier it was for calls, now it would be for Wi-Fi, where different shop owners can sell Wi-Fi by installing Wi-Fi hotspot in equipments in their shops. That is basically the objective is, so that you have anywhere access to internet. That is basically the objective of this scheme. Yes, in Hera Fairy also they use public PCO service and all. या फिर इन बागबान अमिताभ बच्चन सिंग द फेमस सॉन्ग ऑफ तू मैं यहाँ तू वहां जिंदगी है कहाँ. So that is also being sung on PCO. So what is this key features? First, it would install Wi-Fi hotspots in these regions, in these shops, etc. And why they known as PDO, Public Data Office? Because to recall the nostalgia we have with this PCO. Yes, they would charge for this. But good thing is there is no requirement of any license fee, etc. registration by the kirana shop owners. No license, etc. is required to set up this kind of Wi-Fi hotspot system. So here anybody can sell these Wi-Fi hotspots to kirana shopkeepers. For example, you want Reliance broadband in your house, you want Airtel broadband in your house, you want Jio broadband in your house, you want suppose this Net Plus broadband in your house. For that, you do not need any bureaucratic approval. You just provide your identity card. To these operators, and they install the Wi-Fi in your house. Similar process would be there for the PDO. They have to just provide their identity card to these Wi-Fi providers, and Wi-Fi hotspot equipment would be installed in their shops, and they can offer these services to consumer. That is basically good point of this scheme. Even in rural area, this kind of Wi-Fi hotspot could be created. For example, आपने देखा होगा ये पेड़ है, this is the tree, and under this tree multiple villagers would gather and they would play cards here. ताश खेल रहे होते हैं, स्पेशली जो बुजुर्ग होते हैं गांवों के, for passing their free time. So what if under this tree such kind of Wi-Fi hotspot is installed and they can play the online games also and under this tree. So that is why this kind of adoption would be there. Internet adoption in rural areas would also be there. So, and it would give employment and income to small and medium entrepreneurs. You have seen that multiple this Atal Seva Kendra, or multiple, if you visit small towns, you would find that there are multiple shops which are offering digital services. Like कि हर किसी को मोबाइल चलाना नहीं आता, कंप्यूटर चलाना नहीं आता, वो इन शॉप्स पे जाते हैं, अपना बिजली का बिल पे कर लेते हैं, कोई जॉब का फॉर्म आता है वो फिल कर लेते हैं, वाटर बिल भर लेते हैं, कोई सरकारी टेंडर निकला है उसमें अपनी एप्लीकेशन दे देते हैं, एंड दिस शॉप्स चार्ज लाइक 50 रुपीज पर आवर काइंड ऑफ चार्ज फ्रॉम कंज्यूमर्स. So this has provide Atal Seva Kendra has provide employment to millions. So this could also give a income to millions on the same lines. So how PM Wani can revolutionize access to internet just like UPI has did. What UPI has did? You download an app, phone pay suppose. Okay. You can download Google Pay also. Okay. You can download Paytm also, and you can get the UPI service from any of the payment intermediary. Okay, you get the UPI service, and similar kind of services is being provided by each UPI service provider. UPI service platform is same service is provided. Paytm भी same service provide करता है, फोन पे भी, गूगल पे भी. लेकिन through Paytm you can link your bank account from any bank account. From any bank you can link your bank account, be it in your SBI, ICCI, SDFC, etc. Similarly from PhonePe, similar from Google Pay. Same thing PM Vani is going to do it. How? Because it has resulted greater convenience, ease, confidence, and it also reduce the cost for doing the payments, digital payments. It also increase the interoperability. देखो पहले क्या होता था जब आप पेटीएम वैलेट से पेमेंट करते थे, या फोन पे वैलेट, या फ्री चार्ज वैलेट, या मोबीक्विक वैलेट से, तो उसमें इंटरऑपरेबिलिटी भी नहीं थी. मान लो आपके पेटीएम वैलेट में 50 रुपीज पड़े हैं, एंड यू वांट टू ट्रांसफर इट टू फ्री चार्ज अकाउंट or maybe to MobiKwik wallet, but you cannot do it. You have to spend it from only Paytm wallet. But here the money is transferred to your bank account, and you can transfer it to any bank account of your choice. आप आईसीसीआई बैंक में ट्रांसफर करना चाहते हो, आप सिंडिकेट बैंक में करना चाहते हो, कहीं भी करना चाहते हो आप कर सकते हो. You can transfer your money to any bank account, but that was not the case in wallet system because it was not interoperable. So this has allowed interoperability, that is give convenience to you. It has also reduced cost to you, and also increase your confidence in the digital payments because direct banking transaction is being done here. Similarly, PM Vani would also do the same. Suppose this is the shopkeeper, basically the user of this service. It can take any Wi-Fi equipment, maybe of Tata, maybe of Reliance, maybe of MI, maybe of Apple, whatever Wi-Fi equipment he wants to purchase, can purchase it. It would not be like that कि जैसे आप एक होता है कि एक तो है कि एयरटेल का आप वो खरीद रहे हो, इसको क्या बोलते हैं, डोंगल खरीद रहे हो, या उसको क्या बोलते हैं, वाईफाई जिसमें लगता है, वो नाम याद नहीं आ रहा, राउटर. यस, राउटर. आप एयरटेल का राउटर खरीदते हो. इफ यू परचेज एयरटेल राउटर, ओनली एयरटेल सर्विसेज वुड बी देयर. बट इफ यू परचेज सपोज राउटर ऑफ टेंडा or maybe eyeball, etc., then any service provider services you can get it from it. So similarly, these Wi-Fi equipments would be interoperable. Whether you purchase it from Airtel, Jio, etc., all Wi-Fi equipments would be interoperable. You can use any of the service provider services on this Wi-Fi equipment. Second, charges would also be the similar. Charges or the net plans would also be the similar. Just like you have same charges for the UPI service providers, you would have same concept in charges for Wi-Fi equipment. तो आपको जिसका नेटवर्क वहां पे स्ट्रॉन्ग होगा, मान लो एयरटेल का स्ट्रॉन्ग है तो आप एयरटेल का लगा लो, अगर जियो का है तो जियो का लगा लो, वोडाफोन आइडिया का है तो उसका लगा लो. तो एनीबडी. और उसके बाद क्या होगा, व्हाट वुड हैपन, एक और इसमें अच्छा पॉइंट है इस स्कीम में कि दिस इज योर होम, you step out of your home and you visit this shop. Okay, here he has provided you Wi-Fi hotspot. Then you reach Delhi metro, Here also you are provided Wi-Fi hotspots. Then you reach, suppose, a coaching institute. Here also Wi-Fi hotspot is provided. Then you reach your university. Here also Wi-Fi hotspot is provided. तो आपको नहीं लगता कि इस वाईफाई हॉटस्पॉट पे यू हैव टू अगेन रजिस्टर इट, देन पुट द पासवर्ड, then you would able to access it. Then again at Delhi Metro you have to put a new password, new ID, etc. Then again also here you have to provide your identity verification, then set a new password, etc. It would be cumbersome for you, it would be complex for you, difficult for you. So what this scheme propose कि आपको एक बार अपनी KYC देनी है टू द सेंट्रल रजिस्ट्री, एक बार, उसके बाद आपको एक पासवर्ड दे दिया जाएगा. Your identity would be, a central identity would be created and password would be given, and you can use this identity, ID and password with every hotspots in the country. एक ही एक ही आइडेंटिटी से, एक ही पासवर्ड से आप कोई भी वाईफाई हॉटस्पॉट पूरे इंडिया में यूज कर सकते हो from the same ID and password, just like your phone number. Suppose this is your phone number, this is basically my phone number. So this is your phone number. This phone number can be used by you or me anywhere in this country. Whether I am in Delhi, whether I'm in Kashmir, Tamil Nadu, Arunachal, I can use the services of this phone number. Similarly, your ID would be created for pan India Wi-Fi hotspot accesses. So it would promote ease of you. Okay. So all Wi-Fi hotspots would be centrally connected. All Wi-Fi spots would be centrally connected. So that is how you would get ease in access. Then there are also other good things. PM Vani has liberalized the resale of bandwidth. Earlier, only internet service providers like Airtel, Jio, etc. could purchase the bandwidth from the government and can resell it among themselves. कि Reliance टाटा को बेच रहा है, टाटा एयरटेल को बेच रहा है, पहले ये होता था. But now they can sell this bandwidth to these Kirana shops also. So it would, what would it do? It would decentralize the spectrum allocation. Up earlier it was concentrated, like 75% of the bandwidth was held by the internet service provider. अभी भी आपको ये बात समझ नहीं आई? See this. Suppose this is the cake. This is the cake, and you can assume as it spectrum. Okay, you can assume this cake as spectrum. 75% of it was held by internet service providers, basically the big industrial houses. But now this cake, small pieces would be given to millions of people. So now there is, in earlier case there was concentration of wealth. Here dispersal of wealth is there. That is why this is also a very good point. And this would surely able to sell their Wi-Fi access and they would earn income also. And also this is very good point. This is also very good point. Earlier what happens? Government allocates 2G spectrum, 3G spectrum, 4G spectrum, 5G spectrum to companies. Then these companies sell out this service to consumer. So basically here the government is allocating the spectrum. In it, entrepreneurs would sell out this spectrum. How? Because Airtel would come, Net Plus would come, Excitel would come, Jio would come, Tata would come, Adani would come and would offer you Wi-Fi hotspot services, equipment, the internet connectivity, etc. would be sold to you by the entrepreneurs, not by the government. तो आपको किसी सरकारी दफ्तर में जाने की जरूरत नहीं है पीएम वानी की मेंबरशिप लेने की, ऑथराइजेशन लेने की. अगर आपको हॉटस्पॉट पीडीओ एस्टेब्लिश करना है, यू हैव टू कॉन्टैक्ट दिस जियो, एयरटेल, एक्सेट्रा. Just you apply for your SIM card. Similarly, you have to apply for the PDO equipment installation. That is also a good thing. It would promote competition in the market. Yes, railway station also have Wi-Fi hotspot, cyber cafe. Yes, it would work like that. Then we have to pay everyone at different time. No, 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 no. Just like, see, you pay Geo, suppose 330 rupees, suppose 530 rupees for 3 months. You can you get suppose 3000 minutes of calling. You can use this 3000 minutes anywhere in this country, whether you are in Delhi, whether you are in Tamil Nadu, etc. You can use this 3000 minutes. Similarly, by purchasing suppose Wi-Fi hotspot plan, which gives you suppose gives you 20 GB data, okay, for rupees 100. You have purchased this, you can consume this 20 GB data from any Wi-Fi hotspot in this country. But from whatever Wi-Fi services, Wi-Fi hotspot services you are availing, you can use this. तो आपको एक ही जगह बस पेमेंट करनी है from any services you are getting from any Wi-Fi hotspot, you would able to यूटिलाइज इट. तो आपको हर जगह देने की जरूरत नहीं है, सिर्फ एक बार देनी है और किसी भी वाईफाई हॉटस्पॉट से सर्विस लोगे वो आप ले सकते हो. तो इट वुड हाईली ease your life in accessing the digital service. सो आधार कार्ड, जैसे हम ई केवाईसी के थ्रू सिम कार्ड आ रही हैं आजकल, जस्ट बाय योर आधार कार्ड यू गेट दी जियो सिम, एयरटेल सिम एक्सेट्रा. सिमिलरली बाय आधार, बाय फर्स्ट this by e-KYC of Aadhaar card you can get the PM Vani identity and your identity would be created. You can recharge that account and start availing the Wi-Fi hotspot services. तो ये सारा concept तो I have already told you. And see, you have recharged for this PM Vani. Suppose you have make a 100 rupees charge for 20 GB data. Okay, 2 GB data you have consumed from Airtel Wi-Fi hotspot. 20 GB data you have consumed from Vodafone Idea hotspots, and 80 GB data you have consumed from Geo hotspot. Suppose, okay, so you have not need to pay Airtel, Vodafone, Geo separately. You have just pay for once 100 rupees for 20 GB data. Suppose, then how they would settle their accounts? That is their responsibility. दैट इज देयर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी. एयरटेल वोडाफोन से पैसे ले लेगा, वोडाफोन जियो से ले लेगा, इस तरीके से पैसे अपने आप शेयर होते जाएंगे, आपको टेंशन लेने की जरूरत नहीं. जस्ट लाइक आप अगर वोडाफोन पे कॉल करते हो तो वो क्या होता है कि मान लो जियो से वोडाफोन को, आपने वोडाफोन यूजर को कॉल की, तो वोडाफोन बेसिकली 10 पैसा पर सेकंड देता है जियो को. तो ये आपको देने की जरूरत नहीं है, ये इंटर अकाउंट सेटलमेंट अपने आप हो जाएगी बिटवीन दी कंपनीज. आपको टेंशन लेने की जरूरत नहीं है. आप किसी भी कंपनी का विदाउट एनी हैजल्स यूज करो हॉटस्पॉट को. यस, इंटरऑपरेटिविटी इज द की ऑब्जेक्टिव, कन्वीनियंस इज द की ऑब्जेक्टिव, ईज ऑफ लिविंग इज द की ऑब्जेक्टिव. हाउ शॉपकीपर रिसीव देयर पेमेंट्स. देखो जैसे यूट्यूब में होता है, आपने चैनल क्रिएट किया ऑन द सिंगल प्लेटफॉर्म, तो वहां पे जितनी एड्स आएंगी, ठीक है, एड्स के बाद अपने आप उसमें से शेयर चैनल को चला जाता है, अपने आप ट्रांसफर हो जाता है. तो इन द सिमिलर मैनर, डिपेंडिंग ऑन द डाटा यूज ऑन दैट पर्टिकुलर शॉप, अमाउंट वुड बी ट्रांसफर्ड. जो उसका शेयर होगा शॉपकीपर का, उसमें ट्रांसफर हो जाएगा. Sir, is this duplication of efforts like mobile plan? See, mobile plan has limitation. Mobile plan has limitation because mobile plan runs on air service. Like you install towers, and from tower to tower you got the internet service. So because of this, speed is quite low. Speed is quite low, and also there is high latency. Your internet may get breakdown in between because of this service. But this Wi-Fi runs on the cables. Most importantly the optical fiber level. ये कंच ग्लास की होती है, ये ग्लास की ये वायर होती है. In this huge internal deflection take place in this manner. That is why there is high speed and very low latency. If you run your videos on Wi-Fi, you would find a stability in internet access. That is why this Wi-Fi hotspots become important. That is why Wi-Fi hotspots become important. So it is not duplicity, it is basically giving you better internet experience, because we have already laid out optical fibers throughout the country. So to take maximum advantage of these optical fibers, this kind of scheme is introduced so that these benefits could be given to each and every person possible living on this country. ये ऑब्जेक्टिव है कि ऑप्टिकल फाइबर हमने पूरे देश में बिछा दी है, उसका तार लगभग पूरे देश में बिछा दिया हमने, तो अब इसका बेनिफिट हर नागरिक को मिल सके, यही ऑब्जेक्टिव है जो इस देश में रह रहा है. तो व्हाई नॉट 5G स्पेक्ट्रम इज कॉस्ट इफेक्टिव. देखो अब जो ये आई हैव टोल्ड यू, दिस वाईफाई hotspots are created through optical fiber cables. It has also limitation. It cannot be laid out. It cannot be laid out in far-flung areas, remote areas, or hilly areas, or maybe in that areas where population is quite low. Suppose only 10 people are living in a settlement in far away village of Rajasthan. So there, these kind of cables cannot be laid out. So there, these kind of air waves comes handy. Providing internet access services through spectrum through satellites become handy. Even Google is launching what? A balloon, a parachute shaped balloon in the sky. From that balloon, they are going to provide internet services to these kind of areas. So that is why this 5G spectrum, 4G spectrum become important. And also this Wi-Fi has one more, this optical fiber cable run Wi-Fi hotspots has one more limitation, that they have limited range. If this is the shop that we have discussed, let me rub this slide. If this is the shop from where Wi-Fi hotspot is installed, it can provide Wi-Fi service to this area only. So for this is the next stop. Suppose this is the next stop. It is providing Wi-Fi services to this area only. So this area is left. This area is left where there is no Wi-Fi range. There is no Wi-Fi range. So how you would get internet service here? It would be going to get through 4G. So basically, ultimate conclusion is 4G, 5G, etc. are complementing each other. Complementing each other. Okay. So how Wi-Fi is different from optical fiber? See, optical fiber is the basically the vehicle. जैसे क्या होता है कि मान लो शादी है, एक मैरिज है, ठीक है, वहां पर खाना बनाना है, 1000 लोगों का खाना बनाना है, तो ट्रक में आ रहा है आपकी गाजर, मूली, प्याज, सब्जी सब आ रहा है. फिर कार एक और कैंटर में पतीले आ गए, टेबल आ गई, एक्सेट्रा. तो ये सब आ रहा है. फिर हलवाई ने खाना बनाया और वेटर को आगे दे दिया. वेटर जगह 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 सभी गेस्ट को डिस्ट्रीब्यूट कराया. आई एम रिपीटिंग इन इंग्लिश. Suppose there is marriage and you have to cater 1000 people. So for this catering, you bring food in trucks, canters, etc. Okay, and then this food raw material like vegetables, onions, tomatoes, etc. is given to the chef, and he has prepared the food out of it, and this food is given to waiter, which he serves it to guest. In this scenario, these vehicles are optical fiber, which brings the internet from the source to the destination. Wi-Fi hotspots equipments are the chef, which is preparing the food. This Wi-Fi is the waiter, which is distributing this food to the people standing in different parts of the given area. That is basically the difference between optical fiber and Wi-Fi. Yes, Wi-Fi is also more secure than internet service, air internet service. So optical fiber cable again more strengthened the glass yellow. See, optical fibers are laid out by the government under National Optical Fiber Mission. It is also being laid out by private sector, like Airtel is also laying out its optical fiber lanes. There is certain private firms like Hathway, which has laid out multiple optical fibers lanes in Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore, etc. Jio is also laying out the optical fiber lane. So this government optical fiber lanes would be available to all. BSNL also, Airtel also, Jio also, etc. This private label optical fiber is the exclusive property of the company which is laying out. Jio की optical fiber Jio की है, Airtel की optical fiber Airtel की है. Okay. Optical fiber is a raw material. Wi-Fi is a finished one. You can say so. You can say so. Basically, optical fiber raw material नहीं है. It's just a vehicle or a carrying ट्यूब जिसमें वाईफाई ट्रांसफर होता है, जिसमें इंटरनेट ट्रांसफर होता है. जैसे इलेक्ट्रिसिटी आपकी केबल्स में ट्रांसफर होती है ना, तारों में ट्रांसफर होती है, वैसे ही इंटरनेट उसमें ट्रांसफर होता है. कंच की ये तार होती है, जैसे कॉपर की इलेक्ट्रिक वायर होती है, वैसे ये कंच की होती है. कंच की क्यों? क्योंकि जो इंटरनेट वेव्स हैं वो कंच में बहुत ज्यादा रिफ्लेक्ट करती हैं, इससे रिफ्लेक्ट होके जाती हैं हाई स्पीड में, इसीलिए ऑप्टिकल फाइबर उसको बोलते हैं. तो वो जैसे आपके घर में बिजली की तारें हैं वैसे ही ऑप्टिकल फाइबर होती है. उसमें जैसे बिजली की तारों में रन करती है, वैसे ही इंटरनेट उसमें रन करता है. और बिजली की तार जैसे आपके घर के एमसील में आके पहले कलेक्ट होती है, फिर वहां से आपके पूरे घर में डिस्ट्रीब्यूट किया जाता है, वैसे ही ऑप्टिकल फाइबर के थ्रू इंटरनेट आता है, वो आपके वाईफाई रूटर में जाता है, वाईफाई रूटर से वो डिफरेंट एरिया में डिस्ट्रीब्यूट होता है. सेम कॉन्सेप्ट है. Yes, Andaman has also got recently the optical fiber. So it would also help this PM1E international travelers because they do not have to pay high roaming charges for their home networks, etc. So this is basically the technical details, bureaucratic details of these various stakeholders. You can read it yourself. I would share you the PDF. So what is the need of the PM1E? Landlines, only 7 per 100 density was there. If there are 100 people, only 7 people was owning the landlines. But because of emergence of mobile, special credit given to Dhirubhai Ambani, where he said that when the landline charges was like 5 rupees per minute, 5 rupees per minute, 10 rupees per minute, etc. He said, I would give each and every Indian citizen telephonic service with 1 paisa second. 1 paisa at only 1 paisa per second or 60 paisa per minute. I would give the mobile services, and whole industry, all media laugh at Dhirubhai Ambani. But he has established this Reliance Communication, and Reliance Communication has proved that such kind of affordable services could be given to people. And same has been repeated by his son Mukesh Ambani. By Jio, he has provided cheap data, affordable data to each and every citizen. They have shown that by keeping the cost or price of the services low, you can still generate profits, you can still capture the market, you can still serve the consumers very well. And this telephonic revolution, internet revolution has drastically changed the economy, society, polity of this country. Drastically. That is why you find that even internet subscriber after Jio has quite jumped, even equivalent to 2 times, from 30 crore to 75 crore. It has hugely created value for the consumer. Take the example of Ola or Uber drivers. They are able to run their GPS maps because of Jio. Take the example of Swiggy, Zomato, food distributors. They are able to use GPS maps and able to use the apps to deliver the food because of Jio. So huge employment gain we get because of Jio. So it would able to provide reliable access to every Indian wherever he is living. So you have to discuss how it can revolutionize the social society, economy, polity of the country. मैं आपको एग्जांपल्स देता हूँ. जब धीरू भाई अंबानी ने मोबाइल फोन्स लॉन्च किए, मोबाइल phone was made affordable that in just rupees 1000 rupees you can get the mobile phone, and also at just 1 paisa per second you can get the telephonic services. So he has revolutionized the mobile phone market. So by this, what happens? Suppose, let me give you the example. This is the farmer. He has taken his produce to the market. Okay, he's selling wheat here, and he got the price, suppose 1200 rupees per quintal. But he's not satisfied with the price. So what he will do? He would call at the same time to the other market and ask for the price. They would say minimum rupees for 1400. He immediately would take away his produce from this market and take it to second market to sell it at higher price. This is how farmer is going to get increase in income. That is how economy get revolutionized. You can imagine the social and political aspects of revolution by telephones. Let me give you one more example. नमस्कार, मैं अरविंद केजरीवाल बोल रहा हूँ। दिल्ली में पोल्यूशन बहुत बढ़ गया है। ये बीजेपी की सरकार, कांग्रेस की सरकार सब हाथ धर कर बैठ गई थी, इन्होंने कुछ नहीं किया। आप हमें वोट दीजिए, हम आकर दिल्ली के पोल्यूशन को सुधारेंगे, दिल्ली की गंदगी को सफाई करेंगे। तो this is the political message delivered on telephone. So politicians are able to connect to the masses through telephonic messages. So this is how polity gets changed. The fake news, propaganda sector being run on internet revolutionize the polity. You can imagine numerous examples how internet and telephone has revolutionized the country, and you can write it the same. But earlier optical fibers were not there, but still people using it. What process? See, there are other kind of Wi-Fi cables also. Okay, optical fiber is the best one. Why best one? It because provide highest speed, highest reliability, lowest latency. So there were other kind of cables being laid out in the country. By using that cables, Wi-Fi service is provided. Okay, which is not made of the glass but other materials. Second, what happens? Suppose this is Airtel tower. This is telephonic tower of Airtel. Okay, what happens here? Wi-Fi hotspot equipment is installed. From this Wi-Fi hotspot system, the regional internet aggregator get the Wi-Fi services. So from here he would install various. From here, either he would install cables to reach the various household in the city, or it would just install a wireless equipment at the top of the houses of the city, so to give internet access wirelessly to this houses. चाहे तो देखो यहाँ से एयरटेल के टावर ने उस रीजनल ऑफिस को सपोज 2000 GB पर सेकंड की स्पीड दे दी, वाईफाई दे दिया, तो यहाँ से चाहे तो दिस वाईफाई वुड बी ट्रांसफर थ्रू केबल्स, और वायरलेस इक्विपमेंट सबके घरों की छतों पर लगा देंगे, रूफ टॉप पे लगा देंगे, वहां से वो वाईफाई लेता रहेगा, और वो वाईफाई फिर केबल के थ्रू आपके कंप्यूटर लैपटॉप तक जाएगी या आपके राउटर तक जाएगी. So this is how the existing Wi-Fi network was functioning. Yes, very good, Neelam. In the optical fibers, phenomena of total internal reflection is working. That is why its speed, reliability, latency is quite credible. This is how total internal reflection works. So that is basically the concept of your science and technology syllabus. So we would cover it later. So now coming to the next topic, corporate nationalism. So see this quote, corporation nationalism to me is a little bit like what happened in if Hitler had won. is scary stuff. It is totalitarian in different form under a different flavor. This quote you would understand when I fully cover this topic. This quote you can see of Mahatma Gandhi. Non-violent nationalism is necessary condition of corporate or civilization. Both quotes are conflicting to each other. So let us discuss which one is right, which one is wrong. So what is this corporate nationalism? मैं आपको एग्जांपल देता हूं. टाटा नमक, टाटा सल, देश का नमक. हीरो, हीरो बाइक, देश की बाइक, देश की धड़कन, देश की धड़कन, the heartbeat of the nation. Patanjali products, if you are purchasing Patanjali products, you are doing Desh Seva. You are doing your national duty, civic duty. You are contributing in the nation building process. Or if you are using Jio instead of Vodafone, then you are doing national service. You are promoting domestic industry, not the foreign company. Or if you are purchasing goods from your local grocery shops, instead of purchasing goods from Flipkart and Amazon, you are doing the national service. If you are boycotting Chinese good, you are doing the national service. This is how corporate nationalism works, where you identify yourself with the domestic company of your nation, then start supporting it by the way of purchasing its goods and services, discarding the goods and services of the foreign companies, even boycotting it, or supporting it in other manners like giving advance payments, or having favorable goodwill image, brand image in your mind because of the simple fact that this company is owned by the same nationality of yours. बस एक इंडियन उसको ऑन कर रहा है इसलिए आप उसको प्रमोट कर रहे हैं. This is basically the corporate nationalism is. Total nationalism is. So recent example is there, Amazon Reliance dispute. What happened in this dispute? Future Retail, which owns Big Bazaar, which owns Brand Factory brand, Easy Days, Brand Factory, etc., which was owned by Kishore Bayani. He has sold around 50% shares to Amazon last year. Amazon make a condition that if in case you want to sell remaining 50% share, you have to first offer it to me. If I do not purchase it, then sell it to others. If I purchase it, then it belongs to me. This is the condition laid out in the contract. Second condition Amazon laid, that you cannot sell this share to specified identities. Who are these specified identities? Reliance, etc., Tata, etc. You cannot sell it to Reliance, Tata, etc. Amazon has explicitly mentioned in the agreement. But future retail business does not go well. It comes into the depths. So now future retail wants to sell its business remaining 50% share to Reliance, because Reliance is promising 24,000 crore rupees plus also takeover of its debt obligations. ये आपका सारा उधार भी मैं ले लूंगी और 24,000 crore भी दे दूंगी. So it was a very lucrative deal for Kishore Bayani. Now Amazon says कि एक म्यान में दो तलवार नहीं रह सकती, दो तलवार एक म्यान में नहीं रह सकती, कि Amazon भी वहीं रहे, अंबानी भी वहीं रहे, ऐसा नहीं हो सकता. वर्ल्ड रिचेस्ट मैन जेफ बेफोस भी वहीं रहे, एशियाज रिचेस्ट मैन मुकेश अंबानी भी वहीं रहे, ऐसा नहीं हो सकता. So now Amazon take it to Singapore Arbitration Center, where Singapore Arbitration Center has put an interim provision on future retail to sell its share to Reliance. That is basically the conflict is. So here nationalism was evoked, that how a foreign company can control a future retail business. It should be owned by the corporate of India, etc. These kind of points are being made in this scenario, in this issue. And accusation is being made that Amazon is behaving like an East India company of 21st century, where it wants to capture the consumer market of this country and would then use its commercial power to get political power and to control the social affairs of this country, etc. Take the second example, WhatsApp. WhatsApp still get all the approvals for launching its UPI service, is being stopped, is being put hurdles, is being obstructive to launch it by the competitors like Paytm. Why? Because WhatsApp have more than 40 crore consumers. If it is UPI get integrated within 40 this WhatsApp, then it would take away the business of Paytm. So Paytm is raising the nationalistic fever that I belongs to this country. WhatsApp is owned by Facebook. So Paytm should be promoted instead of WhatsApp. That is why its case is pending in Supreme Court. Then Chinese bans on apps. Its approval requirement for any FDI, etc. is also here. Nationalism is evoked that we need to give preference to Indian made products, not the Chinese made products. Again, corporate nationalism is there. So now, why corporate nationalism is problematic? Why this is problematic? Why it is problematic? This is basically the objective of this discussion. फर्स्ट, जो हम सोच रहे हैं जो हम सोच रहे हैं कि ये इंडियन कंपनीज हैं, ये एक्चुअली फॉरेन कंपनीज हैं. If we are thinking that Flipkart is Indian company, no, it is owned by Walmart. If we are thinking Paytm is Indian company, no, it is being invested by Chinese companies like Alibaba. So foreign companies already have invested in Indian startups a lot. Maybe Oyo, may it be the Paytm, Freecharge, etc. So already foreign players are there in every Indian startup we imagine. You can take the example of Reliance even. Reliance have its share from Google, Facebook, etc. So how can we can say that Reliance is the Indian company? So this argument that this is Indian company, this is foreign company is flawed. So if we do this highly nationalistic argument in each and every product of foreign company, then they would not invest in this country. They would be fearful of investing in this company because they are not going to get any profits. So why they would invest in this country? We are fearful of foreign dominance in our economic spheres, that they are being having huge money in their pockets, so they would control the economy one day. But even domestic conglomerates, whether it's Tata, Adani, Ambani, Birla, Bajaj, etc., they do have huge pockets and greater political power than these foreign companies. They mold, they mold the regulations as per their own wish by having certain lobby in the regulators on the or in the political circles. That is why we need to protect domestic corporate giants. What we need is to ensure fair competition in the market. जैसे अब मान लो IPL है. In IPL, both foreign players also contest from the same team and domestic player also fight from the same team. And also in other team there is also foreign players and also domestic players. So both collaborate and compete with each other. Similar is the case for the economy. Similar is the case for the economy, where foreign companies and Indian companies collaborate with each other. For example, Tata has collaborated with Singapore Airlines for Air Vista, and also they compete with each other. Like Reliance Jio is competing with Vodafone. So here there is no argument of nationalism because it is a competition. You cannot say that only Virat Kohli would hit runs, not the this famous player of Australia. I forget his name. David Warner and all. You cannot say that. It is competition. It is open competition. All companies should have equal competition in the market. Then only you would get quality in product, better consumer services, greater choice to consumers, etc. Otherwise, there would be only national companies, so-called national companies, monopoly, and they would then start exploiting the consumer. You cannot imagine. So that is why this kind of nationalism is bad. And also, this is not going to give benefit to common people. भाई जेब भरेगी अगर आप पतंजलि का प्रोडक्ट सिर्फ इसलिए खरीदोगे. इफ यू आर परचेसिंग पतंजलि प्रोडक्ट ओनली बिकॉज दैट यू आर डूइंग योर नेशनल ड्यूटी, then only Ramdev Baba is going to get the profits. If you are purchasing Jio SIM only because you are thinking that it is domestic company, तब अंबानी की जेब भरेगी, आपका उसमें कुछ बेनिफिट नहीं होने वाला. So reward for this kind of nationalism is exclusive to the owner of these kind of companies. Common people is not going to get any benefit from these companies. आपको पतंजलि का प्रोडक्ट अच्छा लगता है, जरूर खरीदो. आपको अंबानी का कोई भी प्रोडक्ट अच्छा लगता है, रिलायंस डिजिटल में, रिलायंस जियो में, do purchase it, but do not make it purchase on the pretext of nationalism. Never. You are a consumer, you are a free consumer, you have the free choices. Whether you want an Apple product, MI product, Vivo product, Micromax product, whatever you want, any kind of product, you have the freedom to choose it. You have the freedom to buy it. That is basically the point here. So this is the interview question. Do you think foreign corporates are as bad as they perceive to be? Coming to this quote of Hitler, coming to the quote of Hitler and Gandhi, which we have discussed in the beginning of the class. See, Hitler has used the same corporate nationalism during his tenure. He was able to revive the automobile sector of Germany by this corporate nationalism. Volkswagen etc. come into life during Hitler tenure. So he was also using the same pretext, but he was defeated because his ideas were quite narrow. It was not open and receptive to the ideas that may emerge in other parts of the world. But Gandhi was promoting corporate nationalism. Why? Because our whole economy was 100% dominated by foreign companies. So to give life to the domestic companies, he was promoting the corporate nationalism. So context was different for both personality. That is why you see different approaches adopted by the different personalities. There should neither be the case where economy is being run by only domestic companies, nor there should be case like the economy is being run by the foreign companies alone. Both are harmful in the long run. Now coming to the justice delivery system. Yes, they themselves choose them foreign company before starting their business. Yes. Also, this will lead to less competition in market, hence more the price for consumer. Exactly. Let me give you example. Before 1991, when there was only corporate nationalism, where only domestic companies were allowed to operate in this country, Coca-Cola was asked to leave out India, to leave India. So there was only domestic companies. So Bajaj scooters enjoys almost monopoly in the market. If you want to purchase scooters, you have to purchase Bajaj scooters. So that because of their monopolistic uh, conditions, they were selling scooters at very high price. Consumers, there was huge supply demand trap. Basically, supply was lesser than demand, so consumer has to wait for months to get the scooter. 3 महीनों की waiting चलती थी, and there was huge black market also for the sale of scooters. And also their scooters, I'm not saying that they were bad, but they were not of that quality that it should be for the price they are charging. But after 1991, you invite Honda, you invite Suzuki, you invite other automobile manufacturers. So Bajaj scooters get competition. But by this competition, Bajaj get more better. His bikes get improved, his service delivery get improved. Now consumers can get on the spot delivery of the vehicles, and if it was able to even serve consumers well. So competition is good for economy. अगर आप मान लो आईपीएल में कंपटीशन ही नहीं है, ओनली डोमेस्टिक प्लेयर्स खरीद रहे हैं, खेल रहे हैं, तो इट इज जस्ट लाइक एन रणजी ट्रॉफी मैच. रणजी ट्रॉफी मैच. एंड हु वॉच दिस रणजी ट्रॉफी मैच? Nobody. But because IPL has competition from all over the world, that is why it is being the most watched tournament in the world. It is one of the most watched tournament in the world. People wait for the IPL to watch it. People just stick to their TV screens to enjoy the entertainment. Similar is the case with the economy. There should be an equal level playing field for foreign and domestic companies. Yes, there was lesser competition also. So, Competition Commission of India has an important role to balance corporate nationalism. Yes, that is why this institution was established. So, now coming to the next topic, justice delivery system. So, now in previous classes, we have discussed multiple issues being faced by the judiciary. So, here in this article, little bit new issues has been pointed out that we are going to discuss. What are those? Spending on judiciary. Basically, whenever there is call for increasing the salaries of judges or increasing expenditure for providing good quality court infrastructure, it is always being resisted. It is always being resisted. इंडिया में एक तो सबसे बड़ी बीमारी यही है कि आपको बस साधु बन जाना है. अगर आपने पब्लिक सर्विस ज्वाइन कर ली तो आपको साधु संत बन जाना है. यू हैव टू बी जस्ट अ सेंट इन ऑर्डर टू बिकम अ पब्लिक सर्वेंट. चाहे आप जुडिशरी में हो, सिविल सर्वेंट हो, लेजिस्लेटर हो या एक मंत्री हो, मिनिस्टर हो, you have to be sadhu. You do not have any worldly desires, you do not have any materialistic ambitions, you do not have any material life, etc. People expect you to be a saint, that you do not have any wishes, just one inner desire of serving the people, just exclusive desire of serving the people. Is it a imaginary proposition or a real phenomena? क्या ये सच है कि आप सभी के सभी सिर्फ यही चाहते हो कि बस मुझे तो बस देश सेवा करनी है, मुझे तो लोगों की सेवा करनी है, मेरी कोई वर्ल्डली डिजायर है नहीं? क्या ये सच है? आपका मन नहीं करता कि आपके पास एक एप्पल का लैपटॉप हो, एप्पल का मोबाइल हो, एक रेंज रोवर आपके पास हो, अच्छी ज्वेलरी पहनते हो आप, आपके बच्चे बेस्ट स्कूल में पढ़ाई करें, आपके माँ बाप को अच्छा बेस्ट हॉस्पिटल में ट्रीटमेंट मिले? Not do you have a desire, these kind of desires? Is these desires are bad? No, provided they are being filled with the legitimate means. अगर आप फेयर मीन्स में, जस्ट मीन्स से पैसा कमा रहे हो, इफ यू आर अर्निंग मनी विद फेयर एंड जस्ट मीन्स, these desires are not bad. But if you are earning money with corrupt means, illicit means, immoral means, then these satisfaction of these desires become problematic. And also these desires become problematic when it outpowers you, it outpowers your mind. जब सिर्फ और सिर्फ आप इन डिजायर से ही सेटिस्फेक्शन लेना चाहते हो, तब प्रॉब्लमेटिक बन जाते हैं. when you got satisfaction from these kind of materialistic desires, then it become problematic. When it is balanced out with other kind of desires like spiritual desire, yoga desire, etc., then it is not. तो जजेस को भी एक अच्छी लिविंग जीनी है. we have to provide them better salaries so that they do not get tempted or attracted to any money being offered to him or her for delivering the order in one particular party favor. तभी उनको सैलरीज अच्छी देनी जरूरत है. पॉलिटिशियंस को भी सैलरीज अच्छी देनी जरूरी है सो दैट दे डू नॉट गेट अट्रैक्टेड विद एनी करप्ट ऑफर, ब्राइब ऑफर, एक्सेट्रा. एंड आल्सो दे आर एबल टू परफॉर्म देयर फंक्शन वेल. जब आप एक इंसान को मान लो वो आपको 10 लाख रुपीस का काम दे रहा है, if it is giving you, why I'm using the word you, because you are the citizen, you are the masters, they are the servants. If they are giving you the work of rupees 10 lakh and you are paying him only 1 lakh rupees salary, then don't you think that that person may feel demotivated, demoralized, and he is not able to perform his duty efficiently? But then you would say that public servants are insensitive, rude and have this my बाप attitude, etc. Why don't they have? उनको होगा वो attitude क्योंकि उनको पे ही अच्छी नहीं मिल रही. आप आईएएस ऑफिसर, आप 20-20 घंटे काम कर रहे हो, इतनी सिरदर्दी ले रहे हो. अगर आप वही काम प्राइवेट सेक्टर में करते, आपका 2 करोड़ का पैकेज होता. आप आईएएस ऑफिसर हो, आपका पैकेज सिर्फ 5 लाख का है. तो आपको बुरा नहीं लगेगा कि कहाँ मेरा दोस्त जो है वो सेम काम कर रहा है, 2 करोड़ रुपया कमा रहा है, और कहाँ मैं सिर्फ 5 लाख रुपया कमा रहा हूँ। कहाँ शाम, कहाँ गंगू तेली, वही बात हो गई। That is why better salaries and better court infrastructure is need of the hour for the judiciary. और जो ये साधु संत की expectation है, that is quite unreasonable, that is quite unfair. Then there is issue under Legal Services Authority Act, where in this law all women, scheduled caste, scheduled tribe children are given free legal aid. देखो, they should be given free legal aid. There is no problem in that. There is no problem in that. Problem is this word all. There are certain women who are from financially well-off background. There are scheduled caste who have the paying capacity to bear the legal fees. There are children who belongs to the rich families. They can pay these legal service fees. So why did they are being provided free legal aid? This is problematic. So here also in targeted manner, the real beneficiaries, the genuine beneficiaries should get the benefit of legal service aid. अदरवाइज देयर वुड बी प्रॉब्लम ऑफ फ्री राइडर्स। इसका मतलब क्या होता है फ्री राइडर्स का? सपोज दिस इज द केक, अगेन आई एम गिविंग द एग्जांपल ऑफ केक, देयर आर 10 people who is going to be eat this cake. If cake is equally distributed among 10 people, okay, then it may be a possibility that two people may not get the cake, and the remaining 8 people get the cake in very less amount. तो उनकी कोई क्रेविंग जो थी केक खाने की वो शांति नहीं हुई, दे आर नॉट एबल टू सेटिस्फाई देयर क्रेविंग ऑफ ईटिंग केक. So nobody is getting benefit from distribution of this cake if we start distributing this cake in equal manner. But if we eliminate 4 people who are rich enough to purchase another cake by themselves, and there are 2 people who are in middle class, and to them a small share could be given, but remaining 4 people large share could be given because they are absolutely poor, they cannot afford a 2 times meal, forgot about the cake. Then it would be a quite equitable distribution of resource, and these 4 people would get a sufficient share of cake. They would be able to satisfy their cravings. These 4 rich people would also be able to satisfy their craving, and middle class partially by buying from the market and partially getting this free cake would be able to satisfy their craving. This would be the win-win situation for all. Otherwise, these free riders, these rich people or middle class people would eat away the share of poor people. That is basically the free riders concept. Yes, we are going to commit this lack of vacancy and all. Then there is lack of well-trained individuals. In UK, there is system where they identify certain advocates who are going to train the other individuals in legal service. But there is no such system in India. Judge population ratio, USA has 100 judges, Canada has 75, UK has 50 per million population, India has only 19. And Jannat is rightly saying that out of these 19, 1/4 seats remains vacant at any point of time. In All India Judge Association versus Union of India, Supreme Court has directed government to increase the judge population ratio, but this judgment has not been implemented. Then increasing tribunalization of justice delivery system. For every matter there is tribunal. The tribunal is bypassing the High Court, Supreme Court jurisdiction. You all know, you must have read in your polity. For every other matter, tribunal is being created, whether it is for income tax, whether it is for GST, whether it is for environment, that is NGT, whether it is for telecom sector, whether it is for port sector, etc. So that you do not need to go to the High Court or Supreme Court to get your grievances redressed. Then technology is poorly integrated. Judges have attitude problem not to use the digital technology. There is lack of funds to install this technology in the court premises. You find that only Gujarat High Court is running live streaming of its proceedings. Only Gujarat High Court on YouTube. You can search on YouTube and you would get the clippings where judges are taking the live proceedings. Then this you all know. By the picture, it is clear that more than 3 crore pending cases. You can see how the cases are pending in the judiciary. Then the other issues I have discussed in the class, you can see in this infographic. You can read it by yourself. Then what can be done? Access to justice need to be made a fundamental right, just like we have made right to education as fundamental right. And Supreme Court has defined in Anita Pushpaya versus Pushpa Sadan case what are the components of access to justice. First, there would be existence of adjudicatory mechanism कि पहले तो भाई कोर्ट होएंगी, कोर्ट एस्टेब्लिश करो प्रॉपर विद इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, विद स्टाफ, विद जजेस, with technology, etc. It should be conveniently accessible. It means it is near to your house. It is near to your house so that you can come to the court easily and take the legal service with convenience. If it is not conveniently available, then use of digital technology could be there. Like I am connected to you through YouTube. Similarly, through virtual live proceedings, legal service could be provided to people who are living in far-flung region. Then it need to be speedy. जो ये तारीख पे तारीख मिलती जा रही है पर इंसाफ नहीं मिल रहा माय लॉर्ड, तो वो ना हो. तारीख मिले लेकिन जजमेंट की मिले जहां पे ऑर्डर हो, अफोर्डेबल हो कि राम जेठमलानी 5 लाख रुपीस पर मिनट लेता है, वैसा कुछ ना हो. You can get the legal services of the best lawyers of this country at very nominal rates, affordable rates, reasonable rates. Then national policies by the executive and legislature should be there to clear the backlogs. Coming to the next topic of social justice, that is child marriage. Child marriage. This right to education make free and compulsory education up to the age of 14. This is basic information you all have. Childline Indian Foundation, it is basically an NGO. I'm just giving you the basic details before I come to the current affair topic. Okay, I'm just building your basic basic foundation so that you would able to understand this current affair topic properly. Second is Childline India Foundation. It's an NGO which is operating a telephone line which is known by the name of Childline, where anytime you can call it and get the services for redressal of any problem that children is facing. For redressal of any problem that children is facing. This works for all children aged between 0 to 18. So any kind of care and protection they require would be provided by this helpline. How? See, if any child is being engaged in trafficking, begari, bonded labor, child labor, domestic violence, sexual abuse, depression, anxiety, etc. This helpline would help that particular child to get freed from this kind of encroachment on its rights. So now this Childline India NGO has given a report that during this pandemic and lockdown period, child marriages has been increased specifically in rural Madhya Pradesh. What is data? Between 2019 and 2020, only 46 child marriages were there, but from April to June, 117 were there. And more than 5,000 child marriages are there in India between March to June 2020. So in pandemic, child marriages has been increased. Why? That is basically we are going to discuss. So you can see this picture how on mass level, these kind of child marriages are done. You can see that this is not exclusive to Hindu religion. It is also there in Christian religion, where old man is marrying a small girl. You can see this in Islamic tradition also. So इस पौंड में सब नंगे हैं, सब एक जैसे हैं. ये देखो how an old man is marrying a small girl. So what are the causes? Because at the age of 15 to 18, boys and girls hit poverty. Not poverty, it is puberty. So parents see this age as very alarming, very challenging, especially for girls. कि ये मेरे व्यूज नहीं है, मैं पहले बता रहा हूँ कि कल को मुंह काला करा के आएगी, पहले ही उसको ब्याह दो. ऐसी सोच है. दिस इज द थॉट ऑफ द पेरेंट्स. दे आर थिंकिंग दैट गर्ल्स may do something which may bring the honor of the family into shame. So that is why it is better off to marry her early age. या फिर लड़का भी कुछ ना कुछ कुकर्म करेगा बड़ा होकर, उसको पहले ही ब्याह दो ताकि जिम्मेवारियां बढ़ जाएं और सही रास्ते पे रहे. The boys may also goes into the bad company and do some bad deeds like getting intoxicated into liquor and all. So it is better to put him under the burden of responsibilities so that he remains on the right track. So that is also shown by the research. If the girl is taken out of the school at 15, that is basically after the 10th class, there is high possibility that he would be married. Then there is law and order problem. Schools sometimes are 4 kilometers away, 8 kilometers away from the house, especially those girls who are living in rural areas. When they hit poverty, then parents are get worried about their security. At any time, any mishappening could occur. So just married off the girl in adolescent age so that their responsibility of protection of girls' dignity and honor would be shifted to the groom family. Then lack of education is the result of it. They are not able to get the education because they are being married off early. So they have very limited economic opportunities. They are not able to get very well paid jobs. So now the woman is confined to household and his work is not valued at all. He may be working 16 hours daily, but his work would never get respect. Never. Then dowry. Lesser the age, lesser the dowry is. Lesser the age, lesser the dowry is. You can see in the infographic how dowry function in our society. So this is the causes for increase during the pandemic. People have been subject to poverty, so they are not able to bear the girls' educational, nutritional, health expenses. So they think just married her off. Then there is no schools. Then they have parents have the concern about the safety of children. So they think it is better to marry off. Then there is also third reason कि कोविड की वजह से 50 पीपल की रिस्ट्रिक्शन लगी थी, तो यू वुड सी दैट इतनी सारी मैरिजेस कोविड के दौरान हुई है तो वो कभी पहले हुई भी नहीं. मैनी पेरेंट्स हैज टेकन एडवांटेज कि खर्चा कम होगा शादियों पे, अभी शादी करवा दो, और हुई भी है. देयर आर सो मेनी मैरिजेस हैपेंड इन दिस लॉकडाउन पीरियड बिकॉज ऑफ ह्यूज सेविंग्स पीपल मेड ऑन वेडिंग सेरेमनीज. और ये अच्छी बात भी है. वेडिंग सेरेमनीज पे वैसे ही आप अननेसेसरी पैसा खराब करते हो. इट इज बेटर टू यूज दिस मनी ऑन योर हेल्थ केयर, ऑन योर एजुकेशन, ऑन न्यूट्रिशन ऑफ योर चिल्ड्रन एक्सेट्रा. इतना पैसा 20 lakhs, 40 lakhs, 1 crore people spend, middle class families are spending on weddings. That is very unethical and also unwise also. So it is very wise thing on the part of the parents that they have married their children during pandemic. I'm not talking about child marriage, I'm talking about the adult marriage. Okay, तो तो अच्छा ही हुआ है कि लोगों ने मैरिज कर ली. What is the impact? So child marriage has direct relationship with sexually transmitted diseases including HIV. It contributes to large families. अब गांधी देख लो, गांधी की शादी भी 14 साल की उम्र में होगी थी. कितने बच्चे थे? 5-6 बच्चे थे. लालू प्रसाद यादव, यू कैन टेक द एग्जांपल, अराउंड 9 चिल्ड्रन. तो बेले बैठे हैं, खाली बैठे बैठे क्या करें, चलो कोई एक नया बच्चा ही कर ले. तो तो इसकी वजह से पॉपुलेशन ग्रोथ हो रही है. So they are not able to invest in education of their children because already the number of children are large, so they do not have the resources to finance each and every children education. So sometimes children being married at this age does not understand the responsibility of marriage. So they do not have the responsibility or understanding of the relationships, not only husband-wife relationships but also relationship, how to deal with in-laws and all. So that is why you find that breakdown of families. Then child bride face the maximum impact. She is being deprived of his basic right of education, rest and leisure because she just become a bonded child labor of groom family. She does not have any protection from mental or physical abuse. The person may husband may resort to domestic violence because she is unaware of her rights. She is being dependent on her husband and his family. So she is just bear this torture silently. Then it is said that woman is educated, then whole family is educated. But in this case, women remain uneducated or partially educated. So how she would able to turn his family educated? So there would be poor socialization of child born to parents who have married in adolescent age. Then she would disempowered for forever for his her life, because she would be dependent and underpowered for whole of life, because she does not get any education and economic opportunities to realize her potential. And huge health repercussion, emotionally and physically, they are going to get huge risks, because it is found that maternal mortality rate is highest for adolescent girls in 15 years of age. They have 23% greater risk of disease, be it heart attack, diabetes, cancer, stroke, etc. So now what are the government initiatives? Child Marriage Restraint Act. हाँ, क्रिकेट टीम एक पूरी की पूरी पैदा हो जाएगी। मैं आपको बताऊं कि क्या हुआ कि एक मेरे फ्रेंड थे, वो पुलिस में है, ही इज सब इंस्पेक्टर इन पुलिस, ओके। तो हिज ड्यूटी ड्यूरिंग इलेक्शन, हिज ड्यूटी वाज देयर इन बिहार, ओके। सो election commission has given the responsibility to conduct a survey of family members, or basically the eligible voters in each household. तो वो गया एक फैमिली के पास, तो उससे पूछा कि आपके कितने बच्चे, आप कितने लोग रहते हैं यहाँ पे। वो बोले मेरे सास ससुर रहते हैं, मैं रहता हूँ, नहीं लेडी बोली मैं रहती हूँ, मेरे पति रहते हैं, हमारे बच्चे रहते हैं। तो वो बोला अच्छा आपके बच्चे कितने हैं? वो कहते हैं 9 ही है बस अभी। वो कहते हैं बस 9 है? तो ये तो बहुत बहुत बस हो गई, अब बस करो कहता। कहता अभी तो 9 ही है बस, अभी तो उनको क्रिकेट टीम पूरी करनी थी, बाकी उनको रह गई अभी। तो that is how the population get huge boom in Bihar and UP, because their childbirth is celebrated. जितने ज्यादा बच्चे उतने अच्छे। तो उनकी वो फिलोसफी चल रही है, जितने बच्चे उतने अच्छे। So now Children Marriage Restraint Act of 1929, Special Marriage Act, Prohibition of Child Marriage Act, they have put 18 and 21 years as minimum age for marriage for women and men respectively. Then Prohibition of Child Marriage Act was acted to fix the Child Marriage Act shortcomings. And also Union Minister of Women and Child Development set up a committee headed by J.R. Jaitley to examine matter related to age of motherhood or improving maternal mortality ratio, etc. And these are other solutions which you can see in the infographic, like empower girls with information skills, educate them, enhance access to their uh, education, and encourage supportive laws and policies. That is basically the other solutions of child marriage. So this is the last prelims question of the day. Answer it. एक्स्ट्रास के लिए भी चाहिए तो हाँ, कोई चोटिल वगैरह हो जाए, कोई ढंग का ना निकला प्रोडक्ट, तो फिर अब रिप्लेस तो कर नहीं सकते। भगवान ने कोई एक्सचेंज पॉलिसी तो दे नहीं रखी कि अमेजोन की तरह 7 डे रिटर्न पॉलिसी है, आप रिटर्न कर देना। भगवान ने ऐसी पॉलिसी तो दे नहीं रखी, और ना ही कोई एक्सपायरी डेट है। तो एक्सपायरी डेट भी अपनी मर्जी से आती है, तो कोई प्रोडक्ट इफेक्टिव निकल गया तो उसका कंपनसेशन भी तो रहना चाहिए ना। तो इसीलिए जितने ज्यादा बच्चे उतने ज्यादा अच्छे हैं। So this is the last question of the day. Answer it. How many kids do you have, sir? I am unmarried. ना हो बच्चे तभी अच्छे। ना नहीं है बच्चे तभी अच्छे। ये मेरी फिलोसफी अभी तक। या आंसर इज बी। आंसर इज बी। Okay. Next topic we would do tomorrow in next class when we meet on Wednesday. Okay. Or should we do this one more topic? Should we do it now or do it in next class? चलो नेक्स्ट क्लास में ही कर लेंगे. It would be better to cover in next class. So that's all for today. Somebody is saying अभी करो, चलो कोई बात नहीं, नेक्स्ट क्लास में कर लेंगे. टुडे देयर इज नो गवर्नेंस क्लास. ओके, तो दिन में एक ही क्लास रख लेंगे, चाहे तो करंट अफेयर की होगी चाहे गवर्नेंस की होगी. वेडनेसडे को भी ऑफ रख लेंगे, संडे को भी ऑफ रख लेंगे, इजंट इट? उस दिन करंट अफेयर की हो जाएंगी, रेस्ट ऑफ द डेज वी वुड हैव गवर्नेंस क्लास. ओके, लेट्स डू इट नाउ. ओके ओके ओके, लास्ट टॉपिक ऑफ द डे, लास्ट टॉपिक ऑफ द डे. ओके, you all are being confused whether to cover or not. Okay, okay, chalo, last day, last. Some it is little lengthy topic. Actually, I need to explain you the equation of Turkey, Russia, USA, India. Then only you would able to understand. Okay. So okay, in next class we will do it. Next class we will do it. It is lengthy topic. That is why. That is why. So that's all for today. Governance class I take on the UG platform, UPSC guide, general foundation course. In general foundation course, I take this governance class. Okay. When is the class of governance? It is being held daily on 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Monday to Sunday, except on Wednesday and Sunday. On Wednesday and Sunday, we have current affair class. On rest of the days, we have governance class. Okay. Okay, so we will do it in next class, remaining topics. So I wish you all the best. Have a